I am really ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of all of you. I can't believe you've all fallen for the most racist, xenophobic, prejudiced, bigoted things, and you just cavalierly and nonchalantly just share them all. You want to invoke God and country? You don't know anything about it. You actually should know better. Right now there is a terrorist organization. It's sometimes known as ISIS, ISIL, Daesh, whatever. I swear it's called something different every other month or so. They're terrorists. They use fear, terror to cause you to suffer, to cause people to suffer. And believe it or not, our country, the United States and the West, made it. We made them. We made them by robbing their countries and stealing their things. And if you actually did your due diligence and you looked up things and you understood what you were talking about without mindlessly just sharing things, you would know that there are actually people who go out there and interview these terrorists. And like, for example, if you went to Afghanistan and they interviewed these people and they said, when did you decide to become a terrorist, and when did why do you feel this way about your country, and things like that. And they didn't even know that they had a country. They didn't know that they lived in a country. It was just, this is our valley, and these weird people from somewhere else came in here, and they're doing these bad things to us. Every time you do a drone strike or a bombing, you create more of them. And that's what they are. They're lashing out, they're lashing back, because war doesn't solve anything. Okay? So now we have these radical groups. There's different ones, and ISIS is a big one, or ISIL, Daesh, whatever. and then there's Boko Haram. That's another one, huge one. And they kill, they murder, they force proselytize. They also do things like, for example, because they've told us, shock and awe our hearts and minds. Well, they didn't really do any of that. A lot of the things that we've used our military for was for profit, for power, it's like fascism. It's like an invasion. Okay? Look it up. Or don't look it up. Just be ignorant. Okay? The Syrians have been completely displaced. They're people. They have families. They had pets, dogs, cats, whatever. They were whole people, and now they're broken people. They're downtrodden, needy, they're orphans, but you don't care about that. You don't care about that. You don't care about your fellow human beings, but you want to just share Jesus this and God that and my country this, but you completely blind yourself to the actual history of this nation. There's a Statue of Liberty. It's actually in New Jersey, but everyone thinks it's New York. And it actually talks about, helping those who need help. Those people, those Syrians don't have liberty right now. They have nothing. It's getting cold now. It's getting very cold now. There's a little boy that you don't love. You don't care about him. This little boy, do you see his little shoes? Do you see his little clothes? His little fingers? Little boys like this don't dress themselves. Their parents do, with love and care. I have a child. This little boy drowned because his family was escaping ISIS. Because you didn't want to help him. Because you didn't want to help these people. He's dead. But you don't care about that. So don't tell me that you have Jesus in your heart, because you don't. Where's Jesus in your heart now? It's not there. And then you go, well, veterans this or veterans that. Really? If anything, veterans have seen war and they would know what it's like. This is a civilian. This is an innocent child that you don't love. He doesn't have a gun. He's completely innocent. But you don't love him. There's no love in your heart. You don't want to be American. You're un-American. I will never be like you. I will never be a racist, xenophobic bigot like you. I will never break. I will never bend. I will never be what you are, what you have become. I can't do it. There's no amount of name calling and flag waving and saber rattling that will ever make me be what you have become. This is what anger, hate, resentment does. This is what war does. We've always helped people. Our ancestors were people who needed help. My grandparents, my teachers. I don't know how you can live with yourself. I don't know how you can go to sleep and how you can stand to just be so hateful, so callous, so cruel. You have no mercy, no compassion, no understanding, just brainlessly, mindlessly repeating propaganda, pro-war. War doesn't solve anything. It created this. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I can't tell you how many times I personally have signed petitions and written letters and sent them to my congressmen, to my senators, to my representatives, to all kinds of leaders on behalf of the veterans since, I don't know, at least 2004 that I can recall. I've lost count. And I know all of you little bitches have almost never done any of that. If you did, it was like 2 or 3. My name is on the Rolodex of so many freaking representatives. My state in DC, I've written to other leaders in other states. I've called them. You haven't done shit, okay? You don't care. You don't have any moral high ground when you want to turn away innocent people like that. When you want to talk about how you're a great country or a great nation or you're religious or Jesus and God, please. You ought to be ashamed. You really should.